Damn. It don't play. Dun, 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 dun. Church music. Okay. What the fuck? Yo.
Phone check, homie. Phone check. Are you my daddy? Dashiki. Ashtray. Cigarette. I hate black pepper. I hate my gun
Bro, can you
because it's
take this
black.
conversation a little bit serious? Little Jeffrey, don't come on, man. Just like take it
Yo, bro,
serious,
I couldn't
bro.
see anything, bro. Your picture was, I think,
I couldn't see anything either. I didn't even. I just seen you pop up right here,
nah.
little Jeffrey.
I would just saying lines from "Don't Be a Menace" to
All
South
right.
Central. While Dreamy just
Yeah, stop fooling around, bro. Give me your race, your ethnicity, where you're from,
fuck
please.
you, you fucking faggot, white honky,
All right,
honky,
all right, bro.
honky,
I'm more black. I'm
honky,
blacker than you, bro. Little Jeffrey.
fucking honky.
Yo, little Jeffrey, you think I'm white?
You sound like it.
All right. Well, I mean, what do you want me to sound like? You want me to sound like your little ass?
I'm not.
Yeah. All right, little Jeffrey. I'm gonna give you one more chance before I boot your ass. All right, you already booted. Okay. Moon child. I don't know what to call.
Hi, I'm 26 for TikTok purposes. I believe I've been on your panel before, probably on my other account.
Okay. Well, welcome back, sister. Can I get your race, your ethnicity, where you're from, sister?
I am Black, I'm Caribbean. And what was the other one?
Okay. Just where you're from, like where in the Caribbean, or if you're in the States.
Oh, the amazing place, DR, El Stable to be exact.
Okay, awesome. Welcome to the panel. Do you want to speak on the prompt, sister?
Yeah, well, Africans can. So when it comes to FBAs, the we was the natives, I don't really take them seriously. A lot of them claim to be indigenous, the wannabe Native Americans, but they're, bitching and moaning, excuse my language, about reparations. Reparations in the United States, from my knowledge, is for the descendants of the Atlantic slave trade, if I'm not mistaken, and those descendants, they are African American, not no indigenous and whatsoever. So they're just a contradicting type of people, I will say.
Yeah. Do you think that they are, if they're not African, then why are they meddling in African business? You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, especially they claim to be indigenous. If you're indigenous, why are you speaking on black politics? You're not black, remember, you're indigenous.
Right. And a lot of them, remember, are you Mula? You're, yeah, I just seen it right now. So remember, the pretendians think black was a misnomer, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so so because they're Indians, So I like to just like take their word for it, and then we'll go from there. But don't attach yourself to black. And you might have got reclassified as that, just like the Indians got classified as black. But I mean, it's up. It's up to you, genealogy, and God at this point. I'm not going to
Hey
argue.
vibes.
Hi,
Hey
Street.
vibes. It's been so
Guys,
long.
I haven't been on here a while, so I don't remember. Yeah, it's been like.
No, you're good. I
I'm
was
sorry,
going
sister.
to
I
be
don't
one of your
remember you, but
mods and then
welcome.
it's okay. It's okay. I was gonna be one of your mods and then you fell off the map, Loki.
Yeah. Well, I'm back. Street. Oh, I kind of do remember you. That's right. Well, welcome to the panel.
I
Can you
changed my
introduce
profile,
yourself
that's
for the?
why.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
what do you
Can you
need?
introduce yourself to the listeners? Just race, ethnicity, where you're from, just basic.
Texas, black, and Jamaican.
Okay, Rastafari. Welcome to the panel, sister. Do you want to speak on the prompt or respond to anything that me and the sister Moon or Mullah had talked about?
Well, you know what? I'm going to respond to one. But I mean, I do gotta go. I just wanted to drop in and say hi, give you like the heart me
Oh,
gift.
thank
But I
you,
will
thank you,
respond to
sister.
one, and it is You can't reject Africa and then get mad when Africa doesn't censor you. I completely agree. I think the diaspora wars um going on is a little bit due to, well, it's a lot of bit due to a misunderstanding. I feel like everything I hear is just a huge misunderstanding on each parts, because remember, our countries are what controls what we know about other people. Just like the how it was Africa was so poor and they can't help each other, there's no good things in Africa but dirt, but we still get all of our gold and diamonds and stuff from there. So I feel like
Right.
it's just depending on what information you get, and then that Black Americans are loud and don't want to work for anything. Because I actually do see TikToks of African people coming on here being like, "Dang, if I was in that situation, I would be just as furious and agreeing with us." And then they did release an apology statement too, which we've never really gotten like a true reparations or apology from America. So it's like I feel like this is just all a misunderstanding.
Mm. Yeah,
But I
yeah,
mean,
facts. Mhm.
yeah, but I mean, you can't really clear up even with knowing it's a misunderstanding. It's not. It's like when you got centuries of history, you can't really just clear it up with like a simple tea party or something. Be like, hey, I'm sorry. Like, nah. So
Yeah, I think a lot of the things that like the Africans sold other Africans into slavery, and Black Americans looking to Africans for reparations at this point. Um, it's like it's very convoluted, and I think that we just with the conflicts that happened on the continent, and that timeline and what had happened within the Europeans coming into Africa, the whole UN declaring the gravest crimes against humanity, the acknowledgement. I mean, it starts on the continent of Africa, with the Portuguese, the Portuguese, Britain, and all those European countries, right, that have impacted the continent. Not even the carving of the continent, but like every time they like meddled in with any aspect of the continent, right? Whether it be them taking resources, colonizing, all this destabilization, all this fleeing, all this fleeing
yeah,
talk.
I
You know,
completely get what you mean. And the slave and not the slaves, the people who were selling the slaves we're not selling them into racism. They didn't know about the racism. They were selling it like you would sell any other slaves to a different tribe. It was tribal trading for safety, and it was tribal trading for other resources that you were supposed to get, just like the Native Americans who were trying to assimilate for resources. They didn't get those resources, but that was their way of trading by attempting assimilation. So whenever I
right, right,
hear you
and
sold your people, yeah, you did sell your people, but you know what? Everybody was buying and selling slaves back then, but it's the reason behind it. Nobody was going to try and sell their people to the white man because they hated being black. They sold their people because they considered it the same thing as if you were to sell or trade from a different tribe.
yeah, and sister, let me remind everybody that these conflicts that happen within kingdoms in Africa, right? Like, have you ever heard of the term booty?
Like loot.
Like loot, like yeah, like you would take on, if you conquered another place, you would take the princesses, the kings, uh in the elite class, right? Like and then you would wait to see if they would if you're in a constant warfare, there'd be like a trade back, right? Like, I'd give you these hostages, give me back the people that you took. So there'd be this like kind of agreement about like the people that you conquered, right? There'd be like some kind of understanding about like giving people take on people when they conquer other people, or they take over, like you end up taking the booty, which meant just like the higher echelons of that society, whether it be the queen, the king, um like intellectual. So they do this trade, and then so what I want to say with that, like the timelines about how sometimes they'd wipe out a whole kingdom and there'd be no trading, and now we're a commodity, but they didn't have the concept of like black people selling black people. uh, that is a pre-colonial, like the pre-colonial things that happen, about how people were after the warfare was over. They'd make an agreement, or a treaty about how they would return. Not in every aspect, but like there'd be some kind of understanding.
Yeah.
And so these are pre-colonial concepts. Black people selling other black people, or African people selling other black people, wasn't a concept because we had kingdoms, we had other things besides these like new nation states. So what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say when we talk about Europeans fighting amongst each other, because they've warred amongst each other, right? And we never talk about Europeans selling other Europeans into slavery.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
yeah, and it's for a reason, right? But like the concept that we have now about how we group people as all black people, or African people, these are new concepts that weren't around, and so how people dealt amongst themselves and how they came to terms about how they were gonna either facilitate a new agreement, or they had to make amends, or they had to facilitate that. The Europeans were already in Africa meddling in. They already had a stake. Europeans not only took people as property, but they owned their labor. And it was a different concept, like the slave trade and the triangle slave trade, about how Europeans helped each other do this. So when we talk about slavery in America, we have to understand that reparations was paid out to YT people when their property, i.e. slaves, were freed, proclamation or whatever. They were paid in turn by the crown. They were given they had insurance out on us, and so when we talk about reparations, we always have to remind ourselves that this shit was paid out to the slave owners when they released their property. This is one thing that a lot of people don't want to talk about, and I have some notes here, and I really want to dive into it. But thank you, Street, for coming up. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
And
I'll come back on a
any
day
last
where I have
thoughts?
more time. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
come back
no
on a
worries.
day where I
No
have
worries.
more time, and then I guess the only thing I gotta say is, I mean, the concept of race is like less or approximately 300 years old, so it really has not been that long. So, I mean,
Right. They think that is long enough to ethnogenesis and delineate from their root.
yeah.
So
Well, you
yeah.
have a good night.
You too, sister. Thank you for coming up.
You're welcome.
Moon. Do you want to say anything before I introduce Denmark over here?
Oh no, I'm just listening. I'm just ready for the We Was the Natives to come up here.
Your race, your ethnicity, where you're from. God, I got a violation already. Denmark, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Can I get your race, your ethnicity, where you're from?
Black American. Ados, I'm from America.
Black American Ados from America.
Yeah, what about you?
So, black as a race, American as a nationality, correct?
Man, I ain't about to get into all that. If that's what you want to,
Yeah,
if that's
well,
what you hear,
let's
it's cool
start
with
from the
me.
basic level,
I
Denmark.
don't feel like getting into all of it.
All right.
I'm
Well, I don't know
I'm
why you're up here,
ADOS.
bro. If you can't break
I'm
down what
I'm
you're
ADOS,
talking
bro.
about. All
I'm
right.
ADOS.
ADOS
I'm
and Black
yeah.
American, I think, are separate claims, to tell you the truth.
I mean, it may be in some circles. I ain't hip to all the new
Are you
TikTok.
FBA too? Are you FBA too?
I mean, some people may say I'm FBA, but that's not a
Stay with your
not a
chest.
problem,
Stay with your chest, bro. Stay with your chest.
bro. You keep cutting me off. I said some people
Sorry.
would say
Go
that
ahead.
I'm FBA because my people were enslaved here and I was born here, but that politic is not one that I espouse. So you tell me, am I FBA?
So I have a lot of Black Americans that are closeted FBAs calling themselves Black Americans. I have a lot of pretendians calling themselves Black Americans. So I just have to, I
I
have
ain't
to flesh
tripping.
it out.
I could be a FBA today if you want me to be. Also,
Are
what
you
about you?
do you relate to the term African American?
No, I don't really relate to the term African American
Yeah, why not?
because I relate more term to the for those enslaved here in America. My
Yeah,
ancestors,
Africans
my
were
lineage.
enslaved, right? Enslaved Africans, Denmark.
Yeah, that's not my lineage though. I ain't been to
So I
Africa
just need to know: are you
culturally.
an American Indian or are you FBA? Those are the
Bro,
only two.
I told you what I relate to, bro.
That's why you said Black
I
American, right?
don't, yeah, I
All
said
right,
black.
Denmark.
I said black
I'm gonna give you a
American.
pass, Denmark. I'm gonna give you a pass. Go
I
ahead and
said black
speak on the
American
prompt.
because that's what most people
I
know
got you. I got
black
you, brother. I
Americans
got you,
for.
brother. I got you. Welcome to the panel, brother. Do you wanna speak
Right
on
on.
the prompt?
Sure. What about you though? You asked me what my ethnicity was. What about yours?
I'm a tethered American, brother.
What does that mean?
You know what a tethered American is?
Bro, I don't know what a Chandler American, bro. I ain't.
You
It's a whole
never
bunch
heard
of
the term tether?
you
Never
don't
heard of the
want to
term
say
tether,
what
my brother?
you don't know what did you say? You don't want to say what you is, brother? What's
Uh,
going on? You
I'm a Black American, Denmark. I'm a Black American, brother.
okay, well, why did you say tethered? So am I?
Well, so Black is a race, Denmark, and then American is a nationality, right? So we have to be very
Black is
forthcoming
also
when
a culture too,
and I'm speaking to the viewers. I'm speaking to the people listening in, right?
right?
So
But black is also a culture
So again, Black is a race.
and a
It's
culture
just a race.
and a
Well,
culture.
okay, fair enough. But the Black culture is from a diaspora. It's not
No,
just related
no,
here in
I
America.
disagree with that. I
You
disagree
wanna,
with
you wanna. Okay, well, you wanna. What's the term I'm looking for? You want to gatekeep Blackness only to
no,
America.
I just want to get to the beginning of it from like when it was even
Bro, the
invented,
beginning is
described.
Africa, Denmark. The
I'm
beginning is
talking about
Africa.
I'm talking about black. I'm talking about the term black and
Yeah. So I'm talking
yeah,
about blue black, nigga. I'm talking about black
yeah.
black. Like
My
the
nigga, I'm
term.
talking about
Yeah,
black as it
it comes from
pertains to
Africa.
a group of people. I'm not talking about Africans. I'm talking about black using
Denmark,
a
when
cultural or
it's
ethnic.
synonymous. Denmark is synonymous.
It's
You can't
not.
take black away from Africa. Sorry.
Nah, bro. I think you misunderstanding.
And
I'm talking
we
about
don't even have to say black, Denmark. It's pretty
right.
obvious we're melanated people from the continent.
You the one said you was tethered, and then you said you was black.
Yeah.
That's what
I
I'm saying.
stand
I
on that.
don't
10
know what that.
toes. Yeah.
What does that
All
even
right.
mean?
So
Tethered.
Denmark,
Just
do you
go
want to
on with
answer
your
one of the questions
submission,
on the
brother.
prompt, Denmark? Do you
Go
Sure.
want
on
to
with
answer
your
one of the questions?
submission, Denmark. Let's go.
What'd
Yo,
you say?
JCA,
What'd you
I gotta
say?
let the brother Denmark answer the one at a time, please. I can't. Just be patient, brother. Go ahead. Denmark.
Will Africans get reparations before FBAs and pretendians? I'm not sure. You can't reject Africa, then get mad when Africa don't center you. Oh. Uh, can you explain specifically how Ghana asking European countries for reparations has anything to do with the money owed by U.S. government to Black
It
Americans?
has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with it, Denmark. That's why I'm baffled about how Black Americans are thinking that Ghanaians are asking for the reparations from the U.S. government when they're asking it from the Europeans.
Yeah, I think the conversation is them watering down the conversation around reparations and making it a moral claim more so than a specific legitimate legal debt. So that would be why some
Wait,
folks
run
would
that
have
one
an
back,
issue
Denmark.
with
Can you
it.
repeat that? Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, like the claim that Ghana is making for reparations is
Mhm.
very broad, and the claim the Americans, ADOS, who would say is you're watering down reparations claim, and it could mer-
Can
it
we
could
agree that it's a different claim, though, Denmark? Can we at least agree that if they're asking for like all the destabilization happening in Africa because of the Portuguese, the Dutch, all these European countries, and they asked those people to first acknowledge what they did, right? Because that's what it is, crimes against humanity, and then follow up with, after they acknowledge it, then they'd have to restabilize the countries that they take the resources from, and the reason why allegedly we're fleeing from these countries. So if Ghanaians and all other African countries tag along to address this issue, I don't think it has anything to do with the United States, and the United States did not vote to agree with this, along with Israel, and I think it was Argentina. So it's just a separate claim, right, Denmark?
uh it can no. I'm gonna say no. I'm just gonna say no just to make
All
the
right, go
position,
ahead, explain
and
that.
I could be
Why
wrong.
would you think it's the same claim? Why would you ever
I
think
would
that, Denmark?
I would say there's some overlap there because you're gonna because they mentioned diaspora, and if you're mentioning diaspora, are you not mentioning the Africans? You say that we are Africans over here in the United States. So I would say
Yeah.
just to
Hmm.
take a position that there's an overlap there, and the pushback is that since you're saying diaspora and we
Hmm.
potentially fall into that, it's not clear enough, and it turns into like a foreign aid type of deal opposed to a specific
Right.
lineage base. So that's the
I'm
argument
happy
that
that
folks are.
yeah, I'm happy that you brought up foreign aid. So that's not what they're asking for, because like foreign aid
Yes,
comes with
that's how
strings
it's coming off
attached.
though. But that's how it's coming off because it's not specific
Well,
enough.
that's how you interpret it, Denmark.
No,
But
they're
it's not.
asking.
It might not be. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll respond after you.
So the diaspora can be anywhere in the Americas, right? And
Please.
give me a second.
I told you before, please.
Hold on, guys. Hold on.
What? What? Guys,
Give me a
no,
second, guys.
I don't want to, please.
I got you.
Please.
I got you on. Hold on.
I never hate you.
I know. Relax.
Remember, but
I can't mute this.
I don't want to fucking.
All right. Something got crazy on there. You still there with me, Denmark?
I'm still here.
Okay. So the diaspora is, when we say the Americas and black people in the Americas, it's not just regulated to the colonial borders of the colonies and the United States Corporation. Okay. You got to think outside the box. So when we talk about the diaspora, It's African people that are global outside of the continent, right? So when they're addressing the UN, all the other countries are addressing them too about Africans asking for the acknowledgement of what had happened, right? The atrocity. So again, when we say reparations, we're not talking about Tyreek's check. We're not talking about money, currency. It could be in the form of restorative justice, or it could be in the form of, getting people out the land, getting your resources back, taking control of, just kicking Europeans out of your land. But in America, we have the Spanish too, right? So those are European powers as well. And so when Black Americans claim that the Ghanaian president is going after Black Americans' reparations check from the U.S. government, it's very disingenuous because the U.S. government hasn't acknowledged what they did. 40 acres and a mule. Black Americans are delineating for the reason because they think that if they delineate, then the white man or the former slave master or this government, 14th Amendment was made for the children of slaves rhetoric. So again, this has nothing to do with the U.S. government at all. This is Africa, and Africa asking Europeans for the atrocities that happened. It had nothing to do with chattel slavery. When they bring up Atlantic slave trade, it's because Africans went through that. Those are our ancestors. That's what happened. Whatever happened once they got to America, and once you integrated with the white people, 1600s, chattel slavery, that's where the lineage goes if you're an FBA, so I feel like they're just like reactionary about this. I feel like there's a little competition, like who's going to get it first. But for them to say that them taking this up with the UN and asking European powers, and remember, USA are like the little brothers and sisters of Britain. The Commonwealth, they're still connected to the Queen, and common law and everything that we have in America is tied back to Europe. But for them to think that they're separated would be dumb. And I think Africans looking out for what they're not coming for the reparations from what the U.S. government owes to Black Americans, and I hope that could be you're owed whatever is done, through Jim Crow, Black codes, and everything that led up after chattel slavery. But at this time, when Black Americans or FBAs are punching down on African immigrants and all that rhetoric, you see what happens online, man. So for them to double down right now, and if they don't want to be African, they don't have to be African. But the Africans are asking the European powers to acknowledge what they did on the African continent. And that's what it is, brother.
I get it. I'm just saying it's not specific enough, and that's why you're going to hear some pushback. It's just not specific enough. So folks are like, you're asking for this compensation, but to be paid to who, to be paid from who, is just not specific enough. And so when you include the diaspora, and we are of the diaspora, it's now we're included in the conversation. So we're gonna have a say. We're gonna say something. If we're included in the conversation, if you're saying diaspora, you're saying we are African or we descend from African. So we gonna say something, and they're gonna say that it's not specific enough. That's that point.
Again, diaspora does not mean Black American. Okay, this doesn't mean
I know, but
FBA.
I know diaspora doesn't mean
The
Black America.
diaspora.
What
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
speaking
yeah.
to is we're
Yeah.
included in the diaspora. So
You're
we're not.
saying it's not
Are you
specific
saying that?
enough, though. You're saying it's not
Are you
specific enough. Like, so you're including
right?
yourself into a
Right.
conversation that you're delineating from, and then now you think that
No,
you have a say.
no. You're. What you're saying is that. Well, let me get this clear. Are you saying that Black Americans aren't a part of the diaspora? Because
Of course
in
they
the
are, but they're not the
okay,
centerpiece. They're
it doesn't matter.
they're not
It
they're
doesn't.
not in the
That's
front
not the
of
point here.
it.
Okay, well, who's in the
You're the
front then?
you're the lowest common denominator in the Black diaspora.
Who, who's in the front? If we're the
Africans,
lowest, then why even? If we're the lowest, then why even include us in the conversation? Why even put diaspora?
because you're part of the diaspora. You're part of the
All right,
diaspora,
so
Jeremiah.
there's a political reason why you included us. And so if there's a political reason why you included us, then we're gonna
No, you think they
leave that.
included you because they were going to use you as you think that you're so,
No, brother. I'll tell you what I
bro.
think.
Listen,
If you have a
bro.
question, I'll tell you. But
You
no.
Denmark. Hold on. Let me land my point. Um, Black Americans are so egotistical because they think
Come on, bro.
you are the
Come on, dog.
culture, you're the trendy. We cosplay y'all, right?
You're
We
going off
cosplay
topic,
y'all.
dog.
We do. You guys are leading in hip hop. Hold on now.
Yeah, you're not
Hold
addressing the
on now.
point, brother.
hang in there.
Tap
Okay,
dancing.
so if we're gonna, so again, bro, we're back in our mud
What?
huts. We're back in our mud huts, right? We're back where we're at, right? So again, this is an atrocity that happened to Africans by European powers, you know, and so it has nothing to do with the other white people that integrated with Black Americans with your unique lineage, right? With your European lineage, your Aboriginal Native lineage, and lastly, your African lineage, the one you guys punch down any chance you get. And you guys don't want to you guys, being an FBA, you have African lineage. You're tethered descendancy. you got tethered ancestry, you know, back to the continent. But again, for you to think that if they go out and look for any kind of acknowledgement or reparations in the form of restorative justice or in the form of stabilizing the countries that these European powers, right, did, has nothing to do with Black Americans. You guys are back in America, chattel slavery on the plantation. It has nothing to do with that. That is a different claim. That's what I was
That's
trying to
just
tell you.
disingenuous, though, brother. What you're doing is disingenuous. Now,
No, bro. You
come
want
on.
to include yourself include yourself back on the continent. So, are
Brother,
you
language
African?
matters.
African brother.
Language
African
matters.
brother.
Language matters, brother. Come on. If you use
Nah.
diaspora, there's a
Don't play the word
definition
games
for
with me, bro.
there's a definition for diaspora. Come on now. Just like there's a definition for African.
You want to be dense. That's fine.
Brother, I'm being respectful. I'm not calling your name. I'm not assuming things. I'm asking questions. Come on now. I'm not being dense. I'm saying
I'm not either.
if you are using the word,
I'm not.
if
Did
the
I call
word,
your name? Was I disrespectful?
I mean, I could take it that way, but I'm not going to take it that way. I'm just saying.
You're
I can tell
bro.
you having a conversation. You're having a conversation with an FBA right now, but you're not having a conversation with me. And I'm just saying,
Am I?
That's what I'm saying. You're looking for
You're a Black
undercover
American,
FBA.
though.
I used the word Black American. Folks know what it
No.
means.
I still have issues with Black Americans, though. I still have issues with Black Americans.
Okay.
Issues with Black Americans, bro.
All right. That's
Black
fine.
Americans are disingenuous.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
I'm just saying
Black is a race.
word.
Black is a race American is a nationality. It's not an ethnicity. It's not an ethnicity. Anybody can be a
I,
Black American.
I disagree.
Anybody from any country that comes here, naturalizes or birthright from any.
Sure,
Well,
I
that's.
agree.
I
I
mean,
agree
that's
that.
what's law. You can
Now
disagree
I'm
with
saying I
law.
agree
You can
with
disagree
that.
with law.
I'm saying I
You
agree,
can,
brother. I said I agree with that. That's what it is now. I agree with that's what it is now. I'm talking about at the inception of it to describe us, a people without a particular backing or a particular place. There was a time to describe us. We were called black or colored. You know what I'm saying? Went from Negro, colored. You know what I'm saying to black, and that's what I'm saying. At
yeah,
that
Black
time,
Americans don't want to be confused with immigrants. Black Americans don't want to confuse with immigrants. That's the biggest thing right now. You don't want to
I'm
be
just saying.
confused with the African. You don't want to be
I'm
deported.
saying, though,
Yeah,
brother,
I get it.
we can't ignore history. That actually happened. We were called colored, Negro, black, like
Yeah, you were
American, Afro.
reclassified over and over and
Right,
over again.
right,
Yeah. I get
right.
it.
I'm saying that's the lineage I
So
come
you
from.
found a new term, Black American, that is the same. It's the same shit. Like, did you think you found something that spoke to your people? Do you think that you really like separated yourself and found something new that wasn't already invented?
I'm just saying that's what we were classified as, and other people wasn't classified that way.
You
That's the
rearranged your
distinction I
American
point at.
Negroes. American
Right,
Negroes. American Negroes. American Negroes.
right. Uh, yeah. So
So you
those.
tell me how that, like, yeah.
Tell you
So
what.
we're going around in circles.
Yeah. But back to the point of the contention with the reparations claim. If you use the word diaspora, and you've already admitted that we are a part of the diaspora, even though we might not be the center of it, if we are part of the group, then folks are going to have a conversation with the rest of the group about how to move. And if you don't like it, then don't use diaspora. Just use African from Ghana, from this tribe. You can get specific. You can get real specific. So, I mean, there's a reason why he didn't get that specific. He went broad, and so people have a critique about it.
I know, you told me.
Okay.
Hold on, Uncle. Hold on. I got my stuff. Hold on. Relax. Hold on, guys. Give me a chance. Uncle, I
Oh, Ken, I'm not sure if somebody's mic is breaking up. I don't know if it's the host mic breaking up or Denmark.
Yeah? You trust man? All right. You should.
Listen to me. I'm fucking know it. What about? Listen. This people,
Mm-hmm.
please. That's why I leave my house open.
Please.
Something happened before this. Going on investigation. So
Uncle, I got you. Uncle, I got you. Relax. You don't have to explain anything to me.
That's right. This camera. This camera.
Give me a second. Can you turn on that light real quick?
Uncle on that ass. Uncle's not letting up on him.
Everything. Government controlling. The lights.
Don't worry, Uncle. Don't worry. Here, I brought a cigarette actually.
Oh.
Give me a lighter.
Yeah, they told you.
Sure. All right, guys.
No. You told me.
Denmark, go ahead.
But truth be told is here, so I think he might
Denmark,
wanna.
I'll come back to you, okay? and then we'll go up with the trees. Come here, Uncle. Sit. Before I leave, come on.
Know something. You know the place?
I haven't spoken yet, so
Yeah, GCA, just introduce yourself. Speak on. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
GCA, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'm a foundational Black American, right? Now, basically, as it relates to the prompt, I feel that Black Americans more than likely will receive reparations first. However, I just want to just discuss this recent trip by the president of Ghana and his speech at the UN. What I like to do is look beyond the headlines and basically follow the money trail. And I feel that this is something everybody should do, whether you're African, whether you're Caribbean, whether you're from the United States. You should always look beyond the headlines, right? And this information I'm about to share is for educational purposes, especially for all those people who are championing Ghana right now. Firstly,
Yeah, please.
it's imperative for us to know who is the current architect and underwriter of this so-called Pan-African strategy in Ghana and the African Union, right? The architect is actually a white American wealthy elite think tank called the MacArthur Foundation, right? And let me break it down. They're the puppeteers behind this. And this is very important for people to know. The MacArthur Foundation has been accused by some of being corrupt and even racist, even though it's a white, liberal, left-leaning organization. The MacArthur Foundation is controlling, financing, and directing the whole thing. On its website, right, this MacArthur Foundation, it's spelled MACARTHUR, right? It states that it funds initiatives in Ghana and West Africa focused on what they call transitional justice, reparations, strengthening democracy, and aligning with so-called Pan-African ideals, right? In 2022, there was a reparations summit in Ghana. And guess who organized it? It was organized by the MacArthur Foundation. And keep in mind, the MacArthur Foundation often partners up with the Gates Foundation. That is the Bill Gates Foundation on certain projects, right? So they had this reparations summit in Ghana in 2022, right? Again, organized by the MacArthur Foundation. Now, here's the twist, right? The MacArthur Foundation actually works closely with the European Union. And what they're trying to do is accelerate the transition to what they call a circular economy. All right, stay with me, right? Now, on the very same day, the president of Ghana made the UN speech condemning slavery. What else did he do? He signed a security and defense partnership with the European Union. And this is despite the fact that the EU member states abstained from voting on this resolution condemning the transatlantic slave trade. How the hell are you going to make a deal with these EU member states, the European Union, when you're condemning the Atlantic slave trade, when these are the very same countries or people that were, involved with it? And you're going to make a deal with them. And the last time people in this African region made a janky deal with Europeans, it was to traffic humans. You understand? So that's what's going on. And in this press release, on March 24th, 2026, right, it stated that Ghana and the European Union signed a landmark security and defense partnership, making Ghana the first African country to enter into such a strategic framework, right? And it said it will provide regional stability, right? So Ghana is going to be viewed as a stable anchor in the volatile region where the neighboring countries like Burkina Faso have seen rising insurgencies. So the bottom line is this a backdoor way how the European Union is going to go in there and now they're going to be able to go into that region, especially in Ghana. They're going to be able to institute counterterrorism, cybersecurity. They're going to be doing surveillance and spying on other African nations in that area. So, what I just put forth, anybody can research and look at. Basically, the president of Ghana is a puppet of the MacArthur Foundation and the European Union. And now this is my opinion. Basically, what we're about to witness is the Berlin Conference 2.0. They're going to carve up Africa. Again, this is their problem. This is their issue, right? But they're going to carve up Africa, and it's going to be the Berlin Conference 2.0 because now those European countries, they know that they're going to have to share Africa with the Chinese, with the Russians, and everyone else who's over there. Okay. So in essence, this president of Ghana is just basically going to sell out his people. He can't be trusted. So it's very important for Black Americans to look at this, especially the Black Americans who are championing this dude. All right. This man can't be trusted. He did a deal with the Europeans. You understand? And that's the bottom line. And I just want to say this is very also hypocritical, underhanded, and corrupt and performative for the president of Ghana to condemn slavery. All right. When the Gold Coast, which is modern day Ghana, was heavily involved in the slave trade and human trafficking. Right.
Okay,
Also,
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
all right. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I mean, I
Go
don't know
ahead,
what
Lamb.
I don't know if you caught what I stated, but I've stated this in other Pan
I
African
kind of got the
panels.
last bit of it.
No,
Yeah,
but
I hear you.
okay.
Can you break down the McCarthy thing for me? Like, just give
MacArthur,
everybody.
the MacArthur. All right, let me do that real quick. So, bottom line, once again, the MacArthur Foundation, right?
Oh,
They're
MacArthur. Okay.
MacArthur, MacArthur, the MacArthur Foundation. They're like, when I say wealthy elite, they're like a one percenters, right? It's a think tank. And like I said, they often partner up with
What
the
family?
Gates
What family and state? Or like what are they?
MacArthur.
What are they? Though? Like,
MacArthur.
are they Europeans?
No, they're American. Like that's what I mentioned. They're white American,
Heritage Americans.
heritage Americans, right? And they're the puppeteers behind this. And when I stated that, they're the ones who are, funding, doing a lot of funding of this thing, organizing, putting the details. That's what think tanks do, right? They go and they sit down and they provide the the blueprint, so to speak. And they're doing this not just with Ghana, the president of Ghana. They've sat down and funded different initiatives with the African Union, right? So, like I said, they hosted this reparations summit in Ghana in 2022. This was not something that the president of Ghana was thinking of. This is what the MacArthur Foundation came up with.
Who
And
would
like
have
I
been?
said, the important part that I mentioned is that the MacArthur Foundation is working very closely with the European Union, and they're trying to, again, what I say, accelerate the transition to a circular economy. What is that? That is another way to talk about, to discuss globalization, right? And what it is going to be, again, the Berlin Conference 2.0. It's a neo-imperialism all over again. And they're just using this reparations thing as a ruse. Like I said, on the very same day the president of Ghana made that UN speech, he signed a security and defense partnership with the European Union. Why would he do that? Okay.
Scam.
It is a scam, and that's what I'm talking about. And why, and especially when the EU member states, once again, they abstained from voting on the resolution. That's the equivalent of saying no, voting no. You're going to do a deal. And then when I mentioned this on an African panel, that gentleman, Uncle Moose, right? He had nothing to say. The cat always has something to say. All he did was just make numerous excuses.
Hey, that's my uncle. That's my uncle now.
I know, but he couldn't refute it.
So okay. Let me give you
So
a
go
little.
ahead.
Let me give you a little pushback. So who would have been valid to bring any African country you thought Ghanaian president wasn't valid enough, but like any African president or bringing up this claim, who would have been more valid if who would
from
you
the family,
have
anybody from the family of slaves would have been more valid, bro.
Let me ask that,
He's
brother.
And
talking
it's
about-
simple
from
that that's
Africa.
obvious.
He's talking about from
It's simple
Africa.
that that's
Hold on,
obvious
hold on,
because they
bro.
had nothing
Hold
to
on.
do with
Hold
being
on,
shipped over
bro.
here.
Don't make me mute you. I gotta mute you. I'm asking that, brother. Who would have been more valid to bring up these claims?
Right. Again, once again, there was not any African nation even talking about or thinking about reparations until they came up with these rules from the MacArthur
Until Black
Foundation and
Americans
other.
brought it up.
Oh no, I just said MacArthur Foundation and others. Keep in mind, remember, on this app and beyond, years ago, we had a myriad of African immigrants even stating that Black Americans, all you're doing is begging the white man for reparations. Why don't you
Correct.
just go out
This
here
is
and
how you
work
know they
hard?
scamming. This is how you know they
So
scamming.
right.
Hold
So
on,
now,
brother. Let me
Nice try,
talk
host.
to him. Hold on, bro. Just like hang in there. Like just
Yeah,
just be
just pull it
patient.
out, bro. That's all he wants.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
pull
I
it
am.
out.
He's going to come to you, and he's going to spend a
Debate
pull
lot
what
of
out?
time.
Wait, what do you want
He's
to
going to spend a lot of time with you also.
Man, bro, do you want to
But
get dropped? Do you want to get dropped? Just stay muted,
yeah,
please.
I had to wait. I had to wait
Do you want
about
to get
15
dropped? That's
minutes.
the only power I have.
Okay, I had to wait about 15 minutes to speak. He's going to speak to you. That's what I can say about Vibes. He is fair, and he will let you speak. Basically, so what I'm saying is, once again, it's appearing to be like a ruse. It's not appearing to be sincere. You understand? And like I said, I go back to why would they make that deal, that security and defense partnership with the European Union? I always ask then, what is the European Union going to get out of that? What is the MacArthur Foundation getting out of this? You understand? That's what you got to do, and that's what I'm saying. We, as melanated people, we can't always look at the headlines, can't always look at the what's on the news, the speeches. We have to follow the money trail. We have to look beyond the headlines. Okay.
And none of them was the
Brother,
families of
let him
slaves.
talk, brother.
Stop it, brother. Nobody
Brother,
stop. Stop
brother,
meat hugging
stop it.
already, bro.
Stop it,
We can
brother.
have a
Stop it.
conversation, man.
Brother, just
For real,
just
bro.
wait.
I got you.
JSK,
Just relax, bro. Relax. Okay, so I'm gonna have to check up on the MacArthur or that. I'm gonna have to go look that up. But all the Heritage Foundational, Heritage American thing, FBAs are pushing to, and so part and parcel, you know what I mean? So all the rhetoric that comes from that as well. So
But you don't hear any FBAs really talking about this right now on the app, and I'm one of the few. And I can bring up screenshots so you can see that, And I've gone on panels, brought up the screenshots. They were able to see, and people are shocked, or they'll say, "Well, that's no big deal." But these same people, like Uncle Moose, he could not explain about that, that defense, security and defense partnership. And again, I don't know if you heard this. Vibes, you still there? Yeah,
yeah, I'm
yeah,
here.
Vibes. Yeah, I just want to say this. I don't know if you heard
Yeah,
this, right? Again, this part right here, the press release that was released. I just want to repeat it again real quick to get your opinion. The press release stated that on March 24th, 2026, Ghana and the European Union signed a land.
you're cutting out.
Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you.
Yeah, no. You
You
had
cut out
muted
for a
me.
minute.
Nobody else go. It's an echo chamber in here. I'm
Yeah,
about
yeah,
to go.
yeah. You had muted me.
All right,
All right,
peace,
let me
brother.
just say this again real quick.
No, I didn't mute you. I didn't mute
All
you,
right.
bro. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll just say this again real quick, and then I'll let somebody else speak. I said once again, all that talk about declaring the
Yeah, he got
transatlantic
debunked
slave.
early with that information. It's not accurate. Go ahead, bud.
What? It is accurate. All the Africans are going to say,
Right
no,
in, right?
this
And
is
you're not
all
meat
the
hugging
Africans.
now. I'm
What
gonna
they
see you
do
meat
is
hugging
they
and saying, let my man talk, right?
1 second.
This
All they
app
do is
got y'all
deny.
tripping.
All they do is deny. I'm just going to say this once again, and I'm going to let others speak. All right, because I had to wait about 15 minutes to speak myself, and I just, it was quiet. But again, in the press release, it stated that on March 24th, 2026, Ghana and the European Union signed a landmark security and defense partnership, making Ghana the first African country to enter into such a strategic framework, right? It will provide regional stability. Ghana will be viewed as a stable anchor in a volatile region where neighboring countries like Burkina Faso have seen rising insurgencies. In essence, basically, the EU is going to be able to go in there and do surveillance, to be able to spy on other countries, do all of that. These are the people that we're dealing with. Again, why the hell would the president of Ghana sign such a deal with the European Union, especially when the EU member states abstained every single one of them abstained from voting on that resolution condemning the Atlantic slave trade. It's hypocritical. The man can't be trusted. I'll land there.
Thank you for that information, brother.
All right.
All right.
Thank
I think I'm
you.
up next.
All right. Okay. This is how we're gonna do it. Mister is gonna be my Mr. Wire. You're gonna be my moderator. I have to charge this phone because it's about to die, and I won't be here. I got Icy. I got my peoples here. So,
Wait, could you
I
put
think
yourself
Truth
on the
was
big
next.
screen?
Okay, we
Sorry.
got
Yeah.
Truth next, and then let me see. We got Truth next. Mister, can you introduce Truth, and then we'll go from there. Mister, you there?
All right. Truth, pick up
All right,
from
Mister.
Jay left from. Just go ahead.
All
Answer
right,
the
thank you,
prompt.
Mister.
Hey, you're welcome.
Thank you.
I
Brandon,
think it says,
if you interrupt again, you're gonna get. Hold on, Truth. I'm sorry to interrupt. Brandon, if you interrupt again, you're gonna get dropped. Okay.
You're not
Now
tough,
you have to
man.
wait until everybody else talks.
You're not tough, guy.
Bro, you're not.
Not a tough
Brandon,
guy.
why are you so difficult, bro? All right,
Do his block.
fine. You can fucking argue in the comments, bro. I give a fuck about. I don't even know you. All right, go ahead, Truth. My bad.
I mean, what I'm going to say is perfect to the guy that just came off. How, like to me, it's what happened with the whole asking for reparation. I'm not against it and I'm not for it either. The thing is, because I don't think it'll ever happen, to be honest, because it would open up a can of worms. Because if you give reparation, you're saying we were wrong. We were wrong for slavery. And once you say that, then here comes the indigenous Americans. They're like, well, were you wrong for taking our land? And where does it? Oh, okay. I'm not sure what's going on there.
¿De dónde? ¿En tu casa? ¿No lo vas a ocupar? Sí, pero pues, ay, no más carga.
Vibes, can you mute yourself?
Pero te carga rápido. ¿Sí?
Why is she listening to Mexican music?
Because he's half Mexican. He's Ethiopian and Mexican.
Eritrean.
He's what?
He's Ethiopian and Mexican. Eritrean and Mexican.
Is he from New York?
The host is
California.
busy.
Oh, shit.
But anyways, so go
Okay,
ahead, Truth.
that makes
Finish
sense.
up your truth, and then we go to Oriana, please.
Yeah. So to say who's going to get it first, nobody's not going to get it first. As long as I've been living, even when a check is given out, when the government gives out a check, they find a way to take it out of your tax. So I'm not sure why would they give reparation to millions of people. What would that put the country, like when it comes to even right now, how we have the war, and it's money. It takes money to fund the war.
So you are against reparation?
I'm not against it. I just know it won't happen, because if it happens, that means Uncle Sam is agreeing, saying that we were wrong. I don't think that would ever happen, because if you say you're wrong, then it opens up more doors. It's like the Me Too movement. Once you say you're wrong, then other charges start coming.
All right. Thank you so much for the submission. Next is Oriana, please. Let's hear from Oriana.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, I mean, the guy that was speaking earlier, for him to say that Africans have never considered reparations is just, when they had people in the West were asking for reparations, that's the only time. That's not true. And I typed it out, but the background wasn't really showing. You couldn't really read the comments. There have been reparations paid, and one instance that I know are the Mau Mau who were paid, and they had been fighting for reparations for a heck of a long time. So there are instances where there has actually been payment, not necessarily for slavery, but of course for colonization. Of course, we're still in court because what they did was, of course, you can wait until, most of the Mau Mau are unalived. They're very old. They're in the 80s, 90s. How many are you going to get? Most of them had already passed on, and they were giving it only to the actual Mau Mau people, not their families. So when you say, are they really going to pay? They're going to find a way to, get around not paying everybody in the proper way, is my guess. And so we're back in court. They've been back in court. I mean, this has been... we've been suing the British government. My people have been suing the British government for decades and decades and decades. When they finally paid, they stretched it out until most people were unalived and then paid some. But then we're back in court because, you think it was a generational thing what you did there. And so their children also want reparations. So we're still suing. And what we were suing for, because, we're in the East, it had nothing to do really with what was going on in the West. But I'm just saying that there are lawsuits out there. Reparations are not new to Africa also. And that was my point. Thanks.
Shout out to Murema, the Mau Mau's. Great. That was a great fight. They put out a great
Oh,
fight.
thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your submission. Ice, please go next, ma'am.
Hey, yeah, I just came up because I heard a few things, right? So first and foremost, I think it's, again, and I always say this, and I'm gonna say it again, right? I think it's important that people actually read the draft, right? No African wants a dollar amount. The African countries in the AU are basically just asking for their monuments, national archives to be returned back to the countries of origin, right? And evidently just for Europeans to leave them the hell alone, right? They are literally just asking for reforms in specific structures that were formed during the colonial era. They're not asking for any money. I also went to, I think it was JCA. So the deal that Ghana made with the EU, right? It was a weapons deal. So the EU is not deploying any of their military into Ghana whatsoever. They did give them $50 million worth of weapons, right? And you guys got to remember, we are on the goddamn planet, right? These countries may have beef, but these countries still continue to trade with each other because they need to. It's actually like a need. Like we're literally here together, right? So the EU, they did abstain from voting, right? But the deal that they have has nothing to do with them deploying any of their military into Ghana whatsoever. It's literally just a weapons deal, which if you actually look into it, right, there are countries who have been beefing for like years and years and years who have who have deals with one another, right? There are countries who literally absolutely despise each other, don't want to deal with each other, but they'll still make deals with each other because that's just how politics work. That's it. That's all. Thank you.
Very true. Just to add on what my sister Icy said there, we need every country need some sort of partnership to be able to benefit from whatever it is. And at this point, with what Ghana and the deal that they ended up striking is just it's just a deal. It's not. I don't think that they're gonna take all their whatever like in Ghana. And it doesn't work. It's there's some agreements, but also there's boundaries as well. So it's not like a very big deal the way GCA wanted to make it seem. The big deal is that he won about the reparations. So I think that's the big deal, and I feel like that's what everybody's talking about right now. Nobody's really talking about the deal that Ghana signed with All right. Who's next?
Wait,
Sunflower,
can I
go
say
ahead.
something really quickly before we move on? Because
Yes,
I
ma'am. Go
forgot.
ahead.
You just reminded me. Thank you. Yeah, so that's actually like Mr. Wire, I'm glad that you said that, right? The fact that everybody needs partnerships, right? I feel like people are under this misconception that, Africans wanting neocolonialism to end in our continent means that Africans are not going to continue to trade and make deals with other countries, including Western countries, right? I feel like there's like this whole idea that, we're just going to get rid of all these people because they colonized us and they just got to go, la-di-da, right? But that's just not going to be the situation. African countries are still going to continue to trade. We're still going to continue to make deals. But our goal is to start making fair deals that benefit both that benefit African people, right? That is the overall goal. So you shouldn't be shocked that any African country is still making deals with anybody as long as those deals are like Mr. Wire said, as long as those deals have boundaries, right? And those deals are not intervening with the politics of the country that's making them. And the deal with the EU doesn't do that. It is a weapons deal. It is not a deal to send their military into the continent. Yeah, that's all I really want to say.
Yeah. At some point, I would like to
Thank you very
respond.
much for that submission,
Okay.
ma'am. And Sunflower is going next. Can you mute yourself, please?
Hey guys. Damn, the host left. I can't even see what the topic was, but when it comes to in terms of, I actually want to talk about the reaction from the FBAs when it comes to Ghana going up to the UN. It was like a vote to acknowledge slavery as the greatest crime against mankind or something like that. I can't remember the actual wording, but these people are idiots. Like, I'm sorry. Like, if you saw the video of the people that were standing outside, like, majority of them were obese. Like, I think the food that they eat went to their brain to the point that they can't comprehend what was going on there. They actually embarrassed themselves, standing out there screaming, talking about, you will not take our money. Like, we don't, like, you guys aren't getting money. You guys can scream to the top of your lungs and petition and do all these, like, you're not getting anything. You're not going to receive anything. So disrespecting Africans isn't going to help your cause. It's just making you look foolish and demented.
Thank you very much for your submission, ma'am. Denmark, please unmute yourself.
Yeah. To speak to the
Address the prompt. Address the prompt, please. But I know it's not there. It's not here anymore. Yeah, but just on top of what everybody has said here, you can add whatever you want to add, and then we'll probably see. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the claim in the reparations, like I said before, part of why ADOS, FBA, Black Americans are speaking to it because the words are the word diaspora is used, and if we are a part of the diaspora in this conversation, and we're included in the conversation, and we're looking at what the ask is, it seems to be more watered down and not specific enough. So,
what's the ask?
Yeah, you don't know what the ask was?
So for like the diaspora, like what did Africa ask for the diaspora?
They used in the reparations talk. They've used the word diaspora. You would
No, but what was the ask?
right?
Like what did Africa ask on behalf of the diaspora?
Some of the things that you mentioned. Those were some of the
But you
things that you
don't have
mentioned.
any stolen monuments.
I mean, there was more, right? So why are you including the diaspora? So that's what I'm
Because there
saying.
are Caribbean people, there are South American people that were, stolen off the continent. There are literally people from, because the whole entire draft includes the atrocities that happened from the year 1235 all the way to now, right? And we all know during 1235 there was a slave trade happening, in east of Africa, and the West Indies slave trade as well, right? So there are people in the diaspora all over the world. Like, it's not just America, it's like everybody, right?
Right.
So
That's what I'm speaking to.
mhm.
That's the part that I'm speaking to. If you're including everyone, the critique is that it's not specific enough. And this is the critique from our end, that it's not specific enough, and it becomes a shared identity. And when you have a
Why does
shared
it need to be
identity,
specific, sir? For what?
yeah,
I'm
because
just
Diaspora is diaspora. You're all a part of it. Nothing special about you guys.
and I kind of
What
just
needs to be
that,
specified?
that's fine. That's fine. It can be
Denmark, I
nothing.
kind of just want you to tell me, like, what was the ask for the diaspora? Because the diaspora, you guys actually got to represent yourselves, right? I know Black Americans don't have a nation, but you guys, Ghana, made it so you guys were able to speak at the UN. So I just want to know, like,
So yeah.
what was the
So
ask from the AU for you guys?
So since it's not specific enough, this is where the pushback comes in. It's a claim that they're asking from different nations, and so the questions become who will pay who, how much will get paid.
Wait,
What
Icy,
is
can
it
I say something to
specific?
him real
Yeah, go
quick?
ahead.
Yeah, because this is my and like I'm really
Can
getting
we
tired with these
do the host a favor, please? Let's tap the screen as we are
Oh yeah.
actually continuing the conversation. Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm tapping. This is my thing, and being on these panels, like it really shows me how a lot of Black Americans, whether they know it or not, they censor themselves a lot, as if they're the only Black people in the whole world, as if the world revolves around them, like and it's just very annoying. Just so you know, Denmark at the bottom. Africans aren't asking for anything on your behalf. They just included you so you guys could be included, so that because
That's my point.
you guys were victims of the transatlantic slave trade. The only reason why you guys were included is because you guys were victims of the transatlantic slave trade. They didn't ask for anything on your behalf. They just wanted for it to be recognized as a crime against humanity, something like that. I can't remember the exact wording. They didn't ask for anything on your behalf, nothing at all. It's just that you guys were, you guys are descendants of slaves, and they, the whole thing. It was a vote with to recognize it as a crime against humanity. That's it. That was all. So I don't know why you guys are like it has to be specific. What has to be specific? You guys are part of the diaspora.
Jesse, you can rebuttal that, bro. Like, unmute yourself.
I kind of wait before he rebuttals. I just want to know, like, Denmark. What do you mean, like, it wasn't specific? Like, what specifically wasn't specific? What
So
wasn't
I'll let
specific?
JCA go ahead.
Let me respond, man. First of all, the first thing, as a foundational Black American, myself personally, and others, we are viewing the hypocrisy. The utter hypocrisy of this president of Ghana is hypocritical, underhanded, and performative for the president of Ghana to condemn slavery when the Gold Coast, which is modern day Ghana, was heavily involved in the slave trade and human trafficking. That's number one. Number two, right now, as we speak, Africa is the current epicenter of modern day slavery, with over 80 million African slaves, according to UNICEF, in place.
But you gotta have evidence when you say some of these things, because it turns out like you are spreading misinformation.
And okay, before he does bring up the evidence, I just want everyone to know that the president of Ghana is from North Ghana, and he's actually from a tribe that was heavily affected by the slave trade, because of a lot of his people were actually kidnapped. So the Ghanaian president, he was actually like part of a literal tribe that were victims of kidnapping during the slave trade.
All right, and let me say this also. I want to go back to this issue.
So you're not going to acknowledge what she just said? You were wrong about the Ghanaian president.
No, I'm not
you were
wrong. I'm not.
No,
wrong.
you were.
I'm not wrong.
You were wrong.
Well, prove it. I want her to bring the receipt.
No problem.
He spoke about Ghana. He didn't speak about the president. He said it was.
He did. He said it's hypocritical.
Well, I said this president, right?
No, he said that it's hypocritical of the Ghanaian president, right, to come there because Ghana was heavily involved in the slave trade. And I told him that the tribe that the Ghanaian president is from were literally victims of the
So
slave
why?
trade.
So
His
why did he?
people,
Why did he?
the raids were happening to his people. So yeah.
Okay, so
Well, Brent,
Wait a
can I
second.
finish?
Also 1 second, bro. You're gonna respond. Oriana, please, can you unmute yourself and rebuttal these two gentlemen right here for Miss?
Yes, actually, I was trying to listen to that speech again, so that's why you saw me on TCAP. Because when I watched it, my understanding is that the Ghanaian president was speaking, it was either on behalf of all African nations or on behalf of the AU. And so
You would be absolutely correct.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that that's what he said. But you said my name while I was watching it on YouTube and I was looking at the captions. So then you called me, so I came back. He was just about to start his speech, and so whatever deals the Ghanaian president, I mean, what nonsense! So he's speaking on behalf of Africa, and now you're going to look at whatever deals his particular country is going to be making. Utter nonsense.
Oriana, you're absolutely correct. So the Ghanaian president actually brought African American representatives to come and speak for them. He never once spoke for African Americans. So you would be 110% correct.
he doesn't
Yeah,
need to.
he never mentioned African Americans when he made his, at least from my recollection. But he actually wasn't speaking as for only Ghana. He was actually representing all of Africa, either
Okay.
through AU, and that's what I was trying to figure out. What he actually said, was it AU or just all of Africa? So I'm going to go back to that speech and look it up, and I'll be back.
Mm-hmm. Now,
I just
now
want to say
again,
this. Wait a second, bro. You know, it's crazy how you guys like to center yourself in everything that Africa does, because because the Ghanaian president did not only speak on the Black Americans, he spoke on the Brazilian, Jamaicans, and the blacks in the UK. I haven't seen none of these guys complaining the way you guys are complaining, and you guys are like the smallest group of people that are actually doing this. Why?
Because we can. That's just how he is. We've been having conversations around reparations way longer than Ghana. We've been having these conversations around reparations longer than anyone on the planet. So we are the
exactly.
professionals of this.
And
you couldn't do it.
yes, we have. And can I give examples of the reparations that we have accomplished? And also, let me just state this, that
One sec. So you asked for the evidence, so I just really wanted to show that to you quickly. If you just give me a second. So yes, John Mahama was sworn in as the president of Ghana from the northern part of Ghana. He was born in Damongo, right, located in the northern region of Ghana. Hold on. And as you can see here, right, the northern Ghanaians were significant victims of the slave trade. The region served as a major source of captives, with communities raided for people who were marched to coastal slave castles or sold through inland routes like the Salaga market. So the Ghanaian president had every single and it was not hypocritical at all for him to talk